All right, if you're a dog owner in Woodlawn, Tennessee, you know it's a special place. So, we put together this guide to help you find a local trainer who really gets what life is like for you and your dog out here.
So, how do you get your dog ready for everything Woodlawn has to offer? You know, the country roads, the community feel. It's a little different than city life, right? This is about more than just sit and stay. It's about building a real partnership so you both can enjoy everything our area has to offer.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll look at what makes training in Woodlawn unique, figure out your specific needs, then talk about how to find a pro, what to expect for costs, and finally, how to practice everything you learn.
First things first, you know, good training always starts with your actual environment. And for us, that's life right here in Woodlawn and Montgomery County.
So what does a Woodlawn-ready dog look like? Well, it's not just about the basics. Think about it. You need a dog who will come back to you even when a deer darts across the yard. You need them to be calm when you're walking past a field of cows. And what about just being polite on a quiet rural road or handling car rides into Clarksville? These are the real-life skills that matter here.
Okay, so keeping all that local stuff in mind, let's talk about your dog. What are you actually trying to accomplish? Figuring this out is probably the most important step in finding the right person to help you.
You've basically got two main paths to choose from. There's in-home training, which is awesome for stuff that happens, well, at home. You know, barking at the door, respecting your property lines. Then you have group classes. Most of those are a quick drive over to Clarksville, and they're fantastic for helping your dog learn to focus when there are other people and dogs around.
So what are your goals? They probably fit into one of these buckets. Maybe you've got a brand new puppy and need to get socialization and house training right from the start. Or maybe you just need to work on the fundamentals. Sit, stay, walking nicely on a leash. And sometimes it's something more specific, like helping a dog who's fearful or reactive. Just knowing which category you're in really helps you focus your search.
All right, you know what you need. So how do you find someone who's actually good? Let's go over what to look for in a qualified, modern trainer.
So pretty much any great modern trainer is going to be talking about this: positive reinforcement. It's a simple idea, really. Instead of punishing your dog for getting things wrong, you reward them for getting things right, with treats, praise, whatever they love. It just makes learning fun for them, and honestly, it builds a much stronger, more trusting bond between you two.
Now this is really important to know. In Tennessee, anyone can call themselves a dog trainer. There's no state license. That's why looking for these certifications is so key. It means that person has gone out of their way to prove their knowledge. Something like a CPD-TKA shows they've passed the big test on the subject. And if you see things like IABC or CBCC, that usually means they have extra skills for tougher issues like serious fear or aggression. It just shows they're committed to being a real professional.
Okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. What should you be asking and what's this all going to cost? Let's figure that out.
Just to give you a ballpark figure, a single private lesson in our area, so think Woodlawn and Montgomery County, is typically going to run you somewhere in this range. Now, that can change depending on the trainer's experience or if they have to travel to your place, but it's a good number to have in your head. And here's a broader look at the costs. You can see the prices for different things, from puppy classes all the way up to those intensive board and train programs. This chart should really help you line up your goals with your budget. You'll notice that packages of several in-home lessons can often be a really good value if you've got specific behaviors you want to work on.
So, when you're ready to make some calls, think of it like a little interview. You can use this as your checklist. The first couple of questions are just to make sure their philosophy and qualifications line up with what you want. But look at 3 and 4. Those are for us. You want to ask them directly how they'd tailor their plan for our rural setting. Do they have experience with dogs around livestock or wildlife? That's a huge one. Okay, so you found your trainer and you're learning some great new things. The work isn't over. Now it's time to practice, because consistency is what really makes it all sink in for your dog.
And lucky for us, we've got some great places nearby to do just that. Liberty Park over in Clarksville is perfect for practicing those leash skills with other people and families around. Billy Dunlop Park has some nice paved trails for that controlled loose leash walking. And then, for a real challenge, you can head to Land Between the Lakes. That's where you can really test their focus with all those new smells and the possibility of seeing some wildlife.
And before we wrap up, just 2 quick reminders on the local rules of the road. First, Montgomery County has a leash law, which basically means your dog needs to be under your control at all times. So even on your own property, that means having a really solid recall is key. And second, of course, Tennessee requires all dogs to have their rabies vaccination.
You know, at the end of the day, this is what it's really all about. A well-trained dog isn't just an obedient dog, they're a partner.
They're confident, they're safe, and they're a happy part of your life here in Woodlawn.
Hope this helps you get started. Having a dog that you can really trust opens up a whole new world of possibilities, doesn't it? From just having peaceful walks around the neighborhood to feeling more freedom on your own land. It makes everything easier and more enjoyable for everyone. Happy training!